Hey everybody, Austin here again with another pinball gameplay video. I've been trying to record this stupid thing for an hour, but either my allergies are acting up and I keep starting to sniffle halfway through, or like half my switches don't want to register and I just get really bad drains and it's like, what's the point of uploading that? We're gonna try again. This is Fireball Home Edition, a home version. Well, not really a home version. A home edition of Fireball, which it actually has nothing to do with the original Fireball, except for, I guess, theme and whatnot. It is a totally different playfield layout based on an existing arcade Bally pinball machine, from what I understand. I don't remember the name of it, but Fireball Home is basically a stripped down version of one of Bally's, full fledged pinball machines. Now, despite being a home pinball game, this is actually a full size playfield layout, which is really cool. So, you might see one of these at a pinball show and just kind of shrug it off. But when you get down and you play it, and it's an actual pinball machine, it's not just a little toy. Granted, the playfield layout is very basic, but if you get one of these games, you especially get it cheap, as you should, because no one really wants these. They're about $200 or less as of doing this video. You can feel free to make modifications to it and make it even better than it is stock out of the box. So what I've actually done to make it a little bit better is I've added some outlane posts. This is an extremely drainy game that you're going to see here. Even with the outlane post, it's still extremely drainy. So we added two to the right outlane. We added one to the left outlane. I did find that the ball drains a lot more to the right as opposed to the left. So, plus it also keeps it from being super symmetrical. The playfield is pretty symmetrical. You got the 1 and 2 targets in basically the same position, 3 directly at the middle, 2 pop bumpers evenly spaced apart, flippers, 2 flippers spaced evenly apart, 2 orbits, left orbit and a right loop. They're both basically spaced evenly apart as well. So having the offset, outlane post helps keep it from being ridiculously symmetrical. Still is symmetrical. One thing we also did is we took the original Bally flippers and we basically ended up. Let me actually plunge. I think I'm still in a game. We basically ended up replacing them with modern stern flippers. The reason for that is the original Bally flippers basically sat like this in a neutral position, and when you flipped, they sat super high. And basically, what happens when your flippers are set like that is on the outer shots, the ball just goes really slow. There's just not enough force, I guess, sending the ball out at a farther direction. And so you would only get like 2 or 3 spin hits, and then the ball would go up the playfield extremely slow. So it wasn't very satisfying to actually flip, or even catch the ball for that matter. So by replacing those with modern stern flippers and adjusting them so they sit a little bit lower and they don't sit as high when they're all the way up, we have a game that now flips a little bit faster and it also feels a little bit more modern at the same time. Now, generally with pinball machines, especially games from this era, I don't usually mess with. I don't usually swap the flippers out like that. Because I like that feel. But Fireball Home Edition really felt like a toy with those original Bally flippers in there. It just did not flip like a real pinball machine. It was super slow, slower than like the slowest of the solid states that you would ever play out there, dirty and on location or something. So, but yeah, you do that. You get the game cleaned up. You do something like put a Powerball in it, which is what I did as well. The game can actually end up playing really fast, and as such, it could be, despite its simplistic rule set, really fun to play. We made a couple of other modifications as well. We added lights to the back of the playfield. Normally there are no lights, so it's actually pitch black back there. So it's actually lit up like a normal game now, which is nice. We also did full LEDs for under the playfield and above the playfield. Now the camera is making them look like they're strobing, but they're actually not in person. Your eyes can't pick that up. They're nice and solid in person, so it's nice and bright. We've just got warm LEDs in there, clear domed, so it's nice and bright, and you can actually see what you're doing. We also added in a color changing LED down here in the apron. So the aprons of normal Bally games would usually have a light installed down here. No light on Fireball Home, so we actually modded that in, ran a wire to the GI, a couple of wires to the GI, I should say. And so now it just cycles through colors as you play. It's just fun. It's just fun. Fun little modification. And yeah, there's more stuff that we had to do to this game, but I'm not going to go into that for now. One caveat though is when we play is the pop bumpers only register about half the time. We tried fixing them, and they still only register about half the time. So people that have owned or do own Fireball Home Edition might have run into the same problem. Unfortunately, underneath the playfield, this game uses proprietary switches and PCB printed circuit board setups. So while this does use real pinball parts for like its slings, its flippers, and the pop bumper coils, all the rollovers and spinner mechanisms and other switches are actually custom designed for this game. And the actual micro switches that are used on the PCBs, you can't get them anymore. So if something breaks on this game, unless it's like, you know, one of the pop bumper coils or the sling coils or the flipper like plunger link or something like that, the coil sleeves, like you can't get the replacement switches anymore. So if something does break on this game, you've got to be prepared to sort of tear everything apart and jerry rig up all brand new modern parts to get things functioning again, which we actually had to do in the upper half of the playfield. That's a long story I won't go into. But basically, this is Fireball Home Edition. We did make modifications, again, outline posts and modern stern flippers, still the old Bally parts underneath the playfield. Yeah, we also put a Powerball in it to make the game faster as we play. So, but with that, let's go ahead and hit the start button. Again, the rule set's not very complex in this game, but when you get the game playing fast, it is still a fun game with a lot of skill required. It requires you to live catch, it requires you to bounce pass, and it requires you to drop catch, which is why, despite its simplistic rule set, it's still a fun game for people that care about flipper skills. So let's go ahead and do a full plunge. Try to get one of our ABCD lanes down. By completing all 4, we actually get an instant 25,000 points, which is the biggest scoring thing in the game outside of, you know, tripled in the ball bonus. And when I'm at the very start of a game like this, what I like to do is just don't even bother with the lower targets. These actually will qualify double bonus, or if you get all 3, it'll qualify triple bonus. But right now I've only got 2,000 points in the ball bonus, so it's not worth going for those. They are kind of death shots. Now, underneath the stand-up targets for 1 and 2, there are actually switches behind the rubbers. And so you'll notice the ball will start bouncing back and forth, and that'll actually just boost your end-of-ball bonus really fast. Every time it hits, it boosts it by 1. So it's okay to have the ball bounce back and forth, but I don't intentionally go for it. I'll let the slings bounce the ball into those. So if I'm on the right flipper like this, I want to go for my left spinner, get it back up top, and try to keep working towards my ABCD lanes. And there we go. That was a bit of a drop catch. Again, all the flipper skills in the book are very valuable on this game in particular. So again, 3,000 points bonus. Let's go back for the top lanes. Even if I don't get a lit one, it still advances my bonus. So we're up to 4,000 points in bonus. And still not really enough for me to warrant going for the bonus targets. But now maybe I can go for the number 2, because I'm up to 7,000 at this point. So let's go for number 2. And I got it, and I advanced bonus at the same time, because again, there were switches underneath the rubbers. And if I really wanted to, I could try going for the number 3 target now, and I got it. And so that's triple bonus. So that's about 14,000 in bonus times 3. So decent points. That's more than an instant 25k I would have gotten from the top lanes. Now, you do get extra balls in the game. Completing A, B, C, D up top will light extra ball on the out lanes, which is very important. But also, if you get 100,000 points, that gives you an extra ball instantly as well. There's no way to turn that off. Now, default settings has you getting an extra ball at 50,000 points, but you can flip a switch to make it a little bit harder for 100,000 points. So I have it set to the hard setting. So again, right flipper, pretty much got no bonus. Going to go for the top lanes. Very basic stuff, right? Nothing too crazy. And I was trying to drop catch, but I wasn't really paying attention. So I bounced past, and the idea was to try to hit the right spinner there, but I actually completely undershot it. It is possible to flick pass on this game, although I do find it a little bit difficult to do. Same with tap passing. It is possible to tap pass. It's just extremely difficult, so I don't really recommend it on this. So I guess maybe not every flipper skill in the book is used here, because tap passing is signature on these old games. Yeah, we're going to go back up top if we can. There we go. You notice that we're getting some decent spins, thankfully. Because, again, you know, what we did to the flippers, and we put the Powerball in. And I'm glad my pop bumpers are actually working. So the last game I tried, they did not work at all. So I'm going to go for the right spinner. I can post pass as well, like that. It's kind of a weak post pass, but it still worked. All right, got ABCD. That's 25,000 instantly. And of course, right as I say my pop bumpers are working, they decided to not work. So we'll just go ahead and do a full plunge. We're at 96,000 points. So we have extra ball lit on the out lanes, and 4 more thousand points will give us an extra ball instantly. We're pretty much guaranteed an extra ball at this point, between the ball bonus and those switches up top. Oops, that was a bad drop catch. And that was bad flipper skills right there. That was, I should have just flicked the ball back up. You know, one of the things about getting better at pinball is learning from your mistakes. So like what I did there is, you know, I recognize what my mistake was, and hopefully I don't do it again on this game. Yeah, you'll notice that the ball actually bounce passes really well on this. And let's go ahead and just do top lanes again. Again, if we get that C, we'll get an instant 25,000 points. And that's really the biggest scoring thing in this game outside of ball bonus. See, there was a little flick pass. I've got 5,000 points in bonus. I'm going to go for the number 1 target. And I hit the target, but it didn't register properly. There's number 2. Advanced bonus a little bit. Bounce pass. Go for number 1. Got it. Advanced bonus. We're up to 30-something thousand in bonus already. You can see how that can start to snowball real fast. Let's go for top lanes. There we go. Pop bumper is actually working. Oh. Bounce. Go for a right spinner. Nice. I love hitting that right spinner because usually it spins pretty well. Alright, so we're actually 2 away from maxing out on bonus, so I'm just going to go for top lanes. And ideally, that's really just what I want to do at this point. You know, despite the simplicity of this game, you still have to kind of think about what you're doing if you want to maximize your points. It's like, I actually need to make good choices if I want to get that 25,000 instantly, right? But getting the ball under control is like the hardest thing to do. Ooh, that was nice. See, that's what happens when your pop-uppers actually work. You actually get some good action up top. But that's definitely one of the big problems I have with this specific machine right now is the pop's not always working. And again, for those of you guys out there that are going to say, oh, you just got to do this or that. It's like, trust me, I know. This machine with its proprietary design underneath the playfield, it's easier said than done to get all this crap working right. So this game can make for a fun, albeit frustrating project. So for people that like project machines, I do recommend trying to track one of these down because it's probably one of the cheapest projects you'll ever find. So at this point, I maxed out on bonus. Might as well just try to rip the right spinner. It's only like probably 1,000, you know, after a full set of spins, but it's fine. I'll take it. So I flicked the ball back up there intentionally because I didn't think I was going to be able to trap it. So, and if I wasn't able to trap it, it was just going to go straight down the middle, most likely. So, again, I'm thinking back to that mistake I made earlier, where it just kind of went right down the middle because I flubbed the flippers. It's all about, you know, correcting your mistakes. And I'm trying not to tilt too much or nudge too much because the tilt bob does work. And I don't want to lose 60,000 points in bonus. Yeah, and sometimes it's good to just try to shoot on the fly as well. And that is out. And we'll get some good bonus. Hey, Patchouli. Come on, Patchouli. Come here, Patchouli. Hi. We got a visitor. She says, Daddy, you've been trying to record this stupid video for 2 hours now. Hurry up so you can feed me or pet me or love me. Alright, let's get down. Let's get down. I have to finish my game. This is actually a really good score. I don't usually get 200,000+ when I play, so I will take this. But yeah, if anybody watching, any questions or comments or anything like that, you know, especially nice ones. I get a lot of negative comments on my pinball channel. It's just something about pinball people. I don't know what it is. But if you have anything nice to say, post something down below. Especially let me know that you actually watch this. Because it does motivate me to do more pinball videos. But man, like I said, this is an extremely drainy game. We just had like 2 house balls in a row, basically. After having like a killer ball. Killer ball. Now, a couple other things I wanted to mention is that if you don't actually hit a switch on the plunge, the game doesn't actually know that you plunged. And so if you have like fickle switches that don't work right, you'll be able to keep plunging the ball until it actually hits something successfully. So I just need the B lane. So obviously I want to go back up top. Make sure you keep your flippers down. Otherwise, what's going to happen is the ball's going to like hit the sling and go straight down the middle or something like that. It happens a lot more often than you would think. So keeping your flippers down, not holding them up. I see people play, some other more noteworthy pinball streamers actually, and as the balls are going back and forth, they're just holding the flippers up. Don't do that. That'll get you killed. It's gotten me killed way more times than I'd like to admit. B lane, nope. Back to the C. And actually, you know, nudging the game a little bit like that might actually help the pops register a little bit better. I don't know. But 240,000, and that's out. Couldn't do anything about that. So, I mean, how many house balls was that? I mean, I wouldn't even call that like a house ball so much. I did get the flip at least once, but, you know, the ball times could be very, very short on this game, even with the added outlane posts. I don't recommend blocking off your posts, or your outlanes, I mean. But adding a couple posts on this game is nice, actually. It does help the enjoyment a bit. But, yeah, that was actually a pretty good game. I was expecting to have to play multiple games, but I'm just going to leave you guys with that one game. But yeah, that's Fireball Home Edition. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, if you have any questions or comments of the nice variety, please feel free to post them down below. I'm going to try to take my stream rig out to locations to try to maybe do some tutorials and things like that on location like I did with Tron. So maybe watch out for some of those. I definitely want to try to do Game of Thrones in particular. I'm not really sure what else I've got. Oh, Batman 66. I definitely want to do that. That'll be a lot of fun. It's a great game. So, but yeah, that's going to do it for me, guys. Thanks for watching. I guess until the next one, take it easy.